Good afternoon and evening, everyone. This is Terra Quator. It is March 4th, Monday, and it is day 64.
Holy crap, it's a Monday!
I'm still sober. I promise I'm sober. I almost had a drink last night. Almost. Because everyone remembers that I said I was going to try smoking everyone who watched yesterday remembers that I said that yesterday evening I was going to attempt my first time smoking a rack of spare ribs on the grill. And yes, I did smoke them. I did not grill or put them in an oven. I didn't use propane. I didn't use wood chips or, the wood pellets. I didn't do that. No, I used just plain old hickory firewood for a really long time. Because I made my series of novice mistakes for people who are new to smoking on an offset grill or just a grill, where I forgot to anticipate how long it would take for the coals to get to the right temperature, because I think the hickory wood I bought was a little too it wasn't dry enough. So that took a while. When those were finally going, I also had to get the temperature to go down, because you need to have it at a lower temperature for a long period of time. So once the temperature got right, it was well past when we were supposed to have been eating. I initially anticipated, I anticipated it was going to take 3 hours to smoke them. So I started at about 4 o'clock, and I didn't get them on. I because of how long it took to get the coals going right, I didn't get them on until about 8 o'clock. Almost 8 o'clock in the evening is how long it took to finally get them on there. And in the last 30 minutes of the smoking process, the temperature was going down. So, bring the temperature back up by adding more fuel, being more wood to your fire. I did that. But I had to add extra fuel in there in order to get the fire going, because it was cooling off too fast. It got chilly last night. And it's my lack of experience. I will admit that. It's my lack of experience. Whoops. So I opened the front little gate, because I have one where the coal box is directly under with one of those front facing doors. And I opened the door, put the fuel in there, try to get it going, and it just so happened at the exact same time, after having neglected that it wasn't getting enough oxygen, being enough airflow, that with the gate that little door being opened, we had a gust of wind at the exact same moment. So you hear, it was like half a second, big, huge wall of fire directly in my face. So here's an image of me freaked out that, I caught my face on fire briefly. I'm okay, but I did get a wall of fire in my face. Now I don't have a beard. I know it sounds weird with this avatar, hearing that, but yeah, I had to shave all that off because it smelled really, really bad. I'll admit, it smelled so bad. Don't get me wrong, I still finished the ribs. They didn't get damaged. They didn't get any of me on it because I got blown 5 feet backward onto the ground. And what it did tell me is that I instinctively did everything you're supposed to when you catch fire, and that is, I immediately and calmly did the whole drop and roll and tried to smother it with my shirt kind of thing. That was quite instant. But luckily, not enough of my face caught fire for the rest of my head to catch fire. Otherwise, I'd be in the hospital right now. I got lucky. But I did learn a lot of good lessons with smoking meat yesterday. A lot of really good lessons. Like, start even earlier, and I need to start with a bed of coals before I put the wood in there for the fire, because I put the wood in first. You should do a bed of coals that'll get hot enough to actually get the wood burning. So I need to do that. I also need to cut my wood smaller so I can more frequently, periodically add wood to keep the smoke going. So I learned that lesson. The ribs were perfectly offset. So I did have it offset away from the direct heat. So let that happen. Someone suggested I use water. I didn't need to use water in the smoker because I had Well, originally I said I'd been soaking them for 18 hours, but by the time I even got the soaked wood chips in there, they'd been soaking in water for a full 24 hours. So 24 hours soaked hickory wood chips, didn't need to use a container of water. And that's actually one of the reasons why we had that fire explosion with that gust of wind, is because enough of them, as I was adding fuel and some wet wood chips, the ones that were still in there, let's see, yeah, the ones that were still in there dried out enough to where they caught fire too and combusted directly in my face. I'm okay. I only have superficial burns on the left side of my neck. They're quite superficial, so I'm not worried about it. It's just mild irritation right there. My left side does still feel hot, and that happened about 10:30 p.m. last night. But when we got the ribs out, here are the ribs, they came right apart. They fell right off the bone. So after I got the ribs inside, after finishing them, dressing, searing them, bringing them inside to let them rest, that's when I shaved. So for about a month or so, I'm back to ass face. I'm back to ass face for a little bit until it grows back. That was a year of growth, literally up in smoke. Ain't it great? But yeah, so I did that, shaved after the ribs had rested, did another pull apart test, did a small taste test, and went, oh wow, these are good. Yeah, they were so good. They were really, really good. Fell right off the bone. The chocolate curry barbecue sauce I made for it was perfect. It worked perfectly. So I will say that the sauce I'm working on is really, really good on pork. I'm going to test it again today. I'm not smoking. I'm not doing any smoking again for a while until I have my materials properly ready to go. Heat resistant gloves so I can directly handle, putting wood on the grill. So I want to make sure I'm better prepared for doing smoking. I don't have all the equipment and I can't get the rest of it right now. So I'm going to wait a little bit. But I do still have coals, like lump coal or lump charcoal. I have lump charcoal because that stuff's better than briquettes. I don't like briquettes. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to put shrimp on the barbecue tonight for Lilia. And I do still have a little bit more of that chocolate curry barbecue sauce I made. So I'm going to put that on there too. And I'm also going to try it on tri-tips. So we're going to try tri-tips tonight, see how that goes. I expect it to be good. But we'll see. So we got that out of the way, yeah? No more facial hair. I'm going to be using avatars for a little bit. I was suggested I could try doing the VTuber style, and which means I do need to find my leap motion to do that and figure out how I do some of those recordings, because what I've found for me, because of how my attention span is, I can't have a video going in front of me. Thank you, phone. Anyway, I can't have video going like gameplay footage to do a very personalized video like this because I'm too easily distracted. I can do it a little bit with live streaming, and I'm so glad I did not live stream last night because my phone would have died in the process anyway. I was out there working for well over 6 hours, so yeah, it was a better idea. It's better that I didn't. But But still, if you were looking forward to a live stream, that's why I lit my face on fire. You're welcome. Maybe next time when I get a little more skilled at this, I can do a smoking session or a grilling session. That's a lot easier than smoking. This whole experience yesterday, it's not going to deter me from trying it again. Definitely not. It encourages me to try it again because it gave me a whole new appreciation of just how much work goes into smoking meats. That is really labor intensive if you're not doing electric or the wood pellets. The whole, set it and forget it kind of thing. I do like something where it's a lot more attention to detail and involved. That's why I chose doing this instead of getting a wood pellet grill. I wanted something more involved to give myself a challenge. Because obviously, if you see this image right here, the sushi, I already know how to make sushi. That's something I just taught myself to do. So there's a lot of cooking I've done that I have some level of skill set with. I wanted to give myself a little more of a challenge. So I went with smoking ribs and lighting my face on fire. Yay! But outside of that, yeah, I know, like I said, I'm doing tri-tips tonight, which I actually do need to get started pretty soon because it's already almost 5 p.m. at the time of recording this. So I do need to get started. I can't be running these things too late. It's so hot in here. Anyway, I went over to my local discount grocery store here in the city, and almost got into a physical altercation with a lady because she was an asshole. Not to me. She turned it on me because I stuck up for the people at the store. She was trying to pull a fast one on them and try stealing, and she was getting physically aggressive with the employees. So when she realized that no one was buying her crap, she pulled out her phone. She pulled out her phone and started trying to record and tried to twist the story that they were just refusing service to her when we watched the entire thing, physically yanking things out of the cashier's hands, claiming that things were scanned when they really weren't. She was just trying to pull a fast one for stealing. And then when it's like, no, I still need to go over these ones, like, no. She kept trying to take them. It's like, I'm just going to go to a different register while being incredibly rude. So eventually the manager's is like, I'll speak to your manager. Like, the man's like, yeah, I'm right here. Not me, the manager did. Said that he was right there. She started yelling at him, berating him. And they said, this is how it's going to go. You're either going to, let her check you out here, or you can leave. She kept trying to grab the things to leave, so I'll just go over here. Also tried to bag the things herself. It's like, I prefer to do things myself. No, she was just being rude. So at that point, she pulled her phone out, and she pulled her phone out and started recording them. Twisted the story that they were just refusing service to her because they didn't want to service her. So that's when I stuck my neck out and said, no, you were being physically aggressive and you were yanking things out of their hands and refusing to cooperate with them over things they didn't actually scan in that you wanted to purchase. So she got aggressive with me and then asked if I was going to talk to her like a child. And I said, well, you're acting like one. She really was acting like a child. So the more back and forth went through, and I told her, look, they're already asking you to leave, so you need to leave. So she got in my face and said, you want to go this way? And I said, look, they already told you to leave, so you need to get the hell out. And that's when she pulled the absolute low blow, because everyone there, including customers, had already had enough of her crap. So when I was like, okay, fine, you just need to get the hell out, because she looks at me and is like, are you, how dare you talk to me like that in front of my child? And I'm like, lady, you don't treat other people like absolute crap and then use your fucking child as a shield for your bad behavior. It was an absolute low. It was a low blow from her to use her child as a freaking shield for her to be an asshole. Look, this is for anyone who needs an important lesson. If you're going to be an asshole out in public, and when you're called out about it, don't pull your phone out to try to use cancel culture on people who didn't do anything wrong when you're in the wrong. So when you're finally called out and people have had enough, don't use your children as a shield. It makes you a bad person and a bad parent. And I'm going to keep an eye and see if anything in my local city comes up, like she posts that on the internet. Because she did try to say, oh, hey, you want to rewind? It's like, yeah, we can rewind. It's going to show you being an asshole on their security cameras. Because she didn't start recording until she'd been called out. Yeah. Don't try to hit record when there are other witnesses who are willing to speak up and like, yo, you're the asshole here. I don't like those kind of antics, and I'm going to stick up for people when they didn't do anything wrong. And I feel bad because the most mature person out of this entire situation with people just kindly asking her to leave was literally her daughter quietly saying, can we just go? You made a scene with everyone. You tried to pick fights. You tried to get them in trouble by trying to record them. And, well, yeah, some people are going to speak up. I had other customers come to me after I left the store with things I actually did purchase and said, thank you, that person was an asshole. So there you go. Don't be an asshole in public. Don't use your children as a shield. That's enough of my rant for today. I know, face on fire, defended a store from an asshole. Hooray. Yeah, I need to get, it's 4:56 p.m. as of recording right now. I need to get out there and I need to start the grill back up for some steaks. I haven't had tri-tip in a while. I'm going to try one of them. One of them I'm going to do with a mango habanero dry rub that I found. I found a mango habanero dry rub. It sounds so freaking good. I'm going to do that. Then the other one's going to have the chocolate curry barbecue sauce on there. I'm going to try both of them and see how they are. Because I do have a sneaking suspicion that the barbecue sauce is not going to be as good on it. I think that one's primarily good for pork. But I'm going to test it on shrimp as well and see how that goes. Because we have some colossal shrimp. I don't know what they're called. It's just I know I buy them at Walmart. They're really huge. They just call them super colossal shrimp. Anyway, this is Terraquator on your Monday, March 4th, day 64. I'm sober, and that's why I almost drank alcohol last night, because I lit my face on fire. That's one of those things like, yeah, I almost ended up in the hospital. I think I earned that drink. Nah. I'll have some nice carbonated iced tea today. That does actually sound really good. So I'm going to go have some iced tea. See you tomorrow, everyone. I'm either going to be using VR chat or I'm going to use my Leap Motion for VTuber style tomorrow. But that's going to be like this for a little while. Stay classy, everyone, and I'll see everyone on Tuesday.